What's up, family? Hey, this is Chaye. To some family, I am Bird. On the stage, behind the mic, I am Java. My voice is my gift, and this is my voice, unfiltered. So let me make my disclaimer right away. This convo might be a word, or it might be a really loud thought that I probably should have journaled and kept to myself. But either way, you're here now and the mic is on. It might get deep, it might get silly, it might be a convo you never knew you needed to have, but it also might be a word. All right, so let's get into it. So listen, this one might be a little crispy, a little bit smoky, okay? Because I'll bring it all the smoke. I'm bringing all the smoke because today I want to talk to you about burning bridges. Yes, let's talk. Let's talk. So here's what I've learned. Here's what I've learned. Not all burned bridges are bad. We just going, let's just jump right on into it. We not even going to make no type of introduction. Hi y'all, praise the Lord. I'm glad to be in the number in the service one more time. Let's jump into it. Not all burned bridges are bad. I had to learn that for myself, and the reason why I am on this so hard today is because there have been some things going on lately that have reminded me of some bridges that I myself had to burn, some bridges that have been burned for me. And it made me open my eyes once again to the idea that some bridges don't need repair. They need to stay burned. Like, not out of bitterness or anything like that, but out of wisdom, out of protection, out of your own peace of mind. And I wish I could say that I have mastered that, the idea of letting some burned bridges stay burned, but truthfully, I have not. Let's be for real. I have not. There are still moments where I'm like, well, no, I can, let me just fix it, or let me just see what I can say to, make something better, or, try to get back. But honey, then there have been some times, some situations where I'm like, ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Like, that's it. That's it. Show me the man that a woman can trust. Like, that's it. I have crossed back over bridges that I knew God let burn. Okay. Bridges that I built with my own heart, my own time, my own prayers, even when I knew that what or who was waiting on the other side, mm, it wasn't good and it wasn't God, okay? And I still went back. I still went back to try to repair the bridge. And not always that they were bad people or even that the situation was bad. Sometimes we as people just aren't built to be in each other's lives long term. We outgrow each other, and that's okay. Like, or maybe we were only meant to meet at a midway point and not make our way into each other's worlds on each other's side of the bridge. So, like, just, a second disclaimer, this is not me preaching from a self-righteous place of arrival, like, y'all gotta stop building these bridges. No, 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 no. This is not me preaching from a place of arrival. This is me being real about being in a place myself of learning and unlearning and telling the truth to anybody like myself. Like, listen, stop buying new wood. If the bridge is burned, like, let it stay burned. And we try to fix it, or we try to repair things with people or in different situations for several reasons. We may try out of guilt, out of habit. I know mine was out of habit because I'm a fixer and I'm a recovering people pleaser. I have been sober now for I don't even know how many days. But I am a recovering people pleaser. And so trying to fix it has become a habit. So we try to fix it out of guilt, we try to fix it out of habit, we try to fix it out of control, people pleasing, like I said, or even because of church culture. Church culture that says reconcile at all costs. And now, hold on, before anybody on the board of elders, directors, bishops, apostles, and pastors, says anything. I am not saying do not forgive. I am not saying do not try to make amends or make it right. I am saying that you don't have to now bridge yourselves back together again. There is a way to part and still continue on in God's purpose for you. Like there is a way to do that. And don't you're going to get this word. Okay. Paul and Barnabas in Acts chapter 15. They argued and they decided to part ways, but they both still continued on in ministry. So now I'm not saying that was the right way to do it, but separation doesn't always mean failure. Sometimes it means forward. Sometimes you have to let somebody go. Like the separation may be intense, but it doesn't have to stop the move of God in your life, in that person or those people's lives, or the love between you. Just make sure that your heart is not bitter, okay? And that you forgive whatever took place. But like there's a difference between forgiveness and rebuilding. Cuz honey, I can forgive you and stay moved on. Like love you bye. Like I can, because burn doesn't always mean bitter. Like okay, so let's talk about that, because there's a such thing as false peace versus real peace. Like bitterness will have you celebrating too soon. Good riddance, goodbye. Whether it's, a city that you moved from, a job that you left, a place that you left, people that you left, somebody that you broke up with, divorced, whatever the case may be. Good riddance, bye. That the celebration may be too soon, because there may be a season where God actually wants y'all to come back together, or that he may want you to go back, like how he asked Moses to go back to the place that he ran from. And now Moses didn't, necessarily celebrate when he left, but if there is something that happened that made you leave, real peace will show up over time in your mind, in your health, in your walk. If it's burned and you're flourishing, then honey, don't go running to Home Depot or Lowe's for some lumber to try to build that bridge back again. Let it stay burned. If God, sometimes God burns the bridge, and if God burned the bridge, let it stay burned. I'll give you another example. Abraham and Lot. That was a peaceful bridge burning. Okay. They became pretty much too big for each other. They were, hold on, let me start here. They were family. They were family, okay? But they had both grown, them and their possessions and their servants and their stuff and their animals. It had grown too big. They both had grown too large in wealth to occupy the same space. Okay? And tension broke out between their herdsmen. And so because of that, Abraham wisely said, you know what? Let's not let this come between us. Let's just go ahead and split it up. Not because he was offended, not because he was angry, not because of anything like that, but from wisdom and the vision. He wasn't bitter. He didn't fight to keep Lot near to him. He didn't chase after him when Lot, even when Lot chose the seemingly better land. Lot was like, okay, because Abraham said, "I'm you choose first, which mountain or which hill you want to go to." And Lot looked, he said, "Well, I'm gonna go to that one." And Abraham said, "By all means, go ahead." He let the space between them do what it needed to do. And then right after Lot left, God spoke and told Abraham that he was giving him and his descendants all the land as far as his eyes could see as a permanent possession. So sometimes the promise that you're waiting for, the answer that you're waiting for, the flourishing that you're waiting for, the elevation that you're waiting for, sometimes it's revealed after the bridge is burned. And I know we hate thinking about that, or we hate thinking about the idea that the term of a burned bridge sounds horrible. But okay, you want to say a deconstructed bridge? What? You still shouldn't go buy new wood. Either way, we still should not be going to go buy new wood, bolts and nuts and all of the different things to try to build it back stronger again. This is not London Bridge is falling down. Build it up with iron poles. No, let it stay fallen, because Lot wasn't an enemy, but he was extra weight for where Abraham was going. Come on, somebody. Somebody need to hear that again. Lot was not extra weight, or Lot was not an enemy. He was extra weight for where Abraham was going. They had to part ways. And here's the wild thing. God didn't even say anything to Abraham until Lot left. Yeah. So that's how you know that the separation, there had to be something divine in the separation. It wasn't messy. It was mandatory. It was necessary for the next step, the next place, the next level. So, no, it's not always about cutting people off. It's not always about dropping somebody and, oh, I'm not worried about them and this and that. Sometimes it's literally just about giving God room to reveal to you what's next. And that can't always happen when you're dragging everybody with you. Like, what happens when God burns it on purpose? Not every fire is from failure. Some fires are set intentionally. Some losses are divine strategy. Some separations are protection in disguise. And you won't know that until you allow the bridge to just be burned, to fall down. And sometimes a burning is more necessary than simply saying, okay, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna cross over, and I'm not gonna come back. Because, child, do you know do you know how many times I said that? Do you know how many times I made that declaration? I won't go back. I can't go back. Do you know how many times that I have said that myself and went right on back? Because the bridge was never burned. It just, maybe it had a barrier in front of it. And all I did was move the barrier out the way and go right on back and do what I said that I wasn't going to do. That And no matter how long it took me to get back over the bridge or how easy it was to get back, y'all, there is this bridge. Hold on. Can I make a side note? There is this bridge. we we were at the Holy Convocation in July, and there is this bridge I forgot what part of Virginia we were in. Ooh, we weren't too far from Virginia Beach. And my sissy and one of our long term, our long time, lifelong actually friends, Mont, the three of us were driving and we were just talking and driving one night. And do you know, I was driving and was not paying attention and drove over this bridge. I think it said, Welcome to Newport News. Drove over this bridge that took 3 days time to get from one end to the other. I can't even remember what island we ended up on, but it was in Virginia. And it's just like, if you know what bridge I'm talking about, like, let me know. But there is a bridge that goes from Newport. I want to say it said, Welcome to Newport News. And the bridge, no exaggeration, took us like 10, 15 minutes to get over. Number one, because I was scared. Because it was nighttime. It was completely dark. And we were close enough to the water where if you look out the window, like the water was like right there. It wasn't like we were on one of the big bridges, like going to Ocean City or out in New York, New Jersey. It wasn't one of those kind of bridges. We were right at the water. And oh my God, by the time we got to the other side, my heart was beating so fast. And Ma and my sissy, they had to encourage me the entire way. You're going to make it. It's okay. It's all right. And then by the time we got to the other side, we had no choice but to turn around and come back. And Mont offered, do you want me to drive back so that you don't have to go through it again? But I said, no, okay, I got over. Let me see if I can make it back. And let me see all of that. Let me tie that into what we're talking about here. So there are times when you even know that the bridge that you're about to walk back over into, like the destination you're going to, is dark. Because again, this bridge connected the main area where we were. I forgot where we were, but it was next to Newport News. And the island was completely dark. I mean, there were houses and stuff on the island, but it was pitch black in front of us. So the uncertainty of not knowing where we were going, it had a hold on me like, wait, I just don't want to go. I just don't want to go. I don't even know what am I driving into, Jesus. But it was the uncertainty for me. But by the time we made a U-turn and went back, we could see the city lights. And so I felt a little bit better. And so sometimes the bridges that we walk over, come on and preach now, the bridges that we walk over or drive over because we're trying to go fast, there may be an uncertainty on the other side and we know not to go that way. But there are sometimes you're so far on the bridge that there is no turning back. Because by the time we got on the bridge, like there was no way for me to make a U-turn. And you'll find yourself stuck on this bridge and you're steady crossing over. Your heart is beating out your chest. You know you should not be going back over here. But yet, here you go, walking back over, driving back over, and you know you should not. And now you're in this unfamiliar, unknown place. And only by the grace and the mercy of God, sometimes will He give you the opportunity to turn back around. And now where you're going back to is all lit up. It's the place that you should have been in the first place. You should have paid attention. It's the place that you should have just stayed in the first place. And then you allow God to burn that bridge so that you won't go back into uncertainty, so that you won't go back into darkness, so that you won't go back to the place where He rescued you out of in the first place. I have done that way too many times, crossed that bridge back and forth, back and forth. So when God does burn the bridge, it's not punishment, it's placement for your growth, your obedience. Like you were never going to move or come back until the bridge was taken away. You were never going to stop. Let me say, you were never going to stop crossing back over until the bridge was burned and taken away. Even if there was a barrier in front of it, you still would have gotten out. Like I said, gotten out, moved the barrier and went. So until the bridge was burned, you were going to keep going. Sometimes it's for their growth, whoever the person is on the other side, and their release. Because maybe there's something in you. Let's be for real. The Bible says, examine yourself now. All right. So maybe there's something on the inside of you that's pulling them down. And so maybe the burned bridge is for them and not you. I mean, it's for your growth, but maybe they are the ones that need to elevate, that need to go up. And God is telling them, until you disconnect from this person, I understand y'all been ride or die for however many years, y'all been doing this thing for however long, but I need y'all to separate because I need to bring you up. And even if they're not the person that is trying to bring you down, where they are is going to leave you stuck, stagnant, plateaued, and I need to take you up. And maybe neither one of y'all belongs to each other's next. Like you've overstayed your season in that area. Or maybe even the way that you met was wrong. Ooh, even if they're not a bad person, because I don't want us to focus on the fact that, yeah, we shouldn't be going back to people. Yeah, there are some people that you absolutely should not go back to because they are a bad person, but there may be something about the way that y'all met. I met somebody beautiful one time, but the way that we met was completely wrong, and I had to let go of them out of my life. Tore my little heart to shreds, but the way that we met was wrong. And like, how can God really and truly bless? Can God bless something? Yeah, but why not just start the way that God wanted you to go in the first place? You know, yes, God can still use it even if you messed up in the beginning. But if there is, sometimes there are situations, let me say it like this, there are situations where it may start out messy in the beginning, and God will still allow that situation, and he'll completely bless it. And over time, it might take some time for things to kind of level out. But then there are some people and some situations that you've gotten into, and it may look like a blessing. Mm-mm, mm-mm. That you might have to walk away from that one, honey. You Yeah, you might have to get away from that one. Um yeah, no. And sometimes you've stayed there longer than you were supposed to, like you kept the door open longer than you were supposed to, and staying past your grace period. How everybody gives you a grace period, whether you're paying a bill or whether doing whatever. Staying past your grace period can really cause damage. It can really cause damage. And sometimes God won't, he won't always stop the fire. Like he won't always stop the damage from happening because maybe there's something that needs to be learned. And then there are sometimes he himself will start it because he's like, no, I don't need you to go back. I don't need you to do that. And maybe that was the grace. Burning something that you were too loyal to let go of. Like your heart was too invested. Your time was too invested to let go of it. And so God is like, I have to burn this. And listen, if somebody is bent on walking away while God is trying to burn the bridge, stop chasing them through the flames. Ooh, come on, somebody. Help somebody else. Like if somebody is bent on walking away from you and God is burning that bridge, then stop chasing people through the flames. Like, let them walk away. Let God, release them out of your life. We've we've been taught that when you give something up for God, that you need to have something in its place. But why? If God burned it, if God is telling you to let it go, then why do I need to replace it? Not everything that you let go of needs a replacement. If I'm walking away for good. Like If it's not people, it's a thing, it's a situation. Like, okay, dancing at the club. I don't go to the club anymore. Even before I became real serious about God, the club wasn't my scene anymore. Now, back in the day, with my best friend, you could catch us in the club on any day. But dancing is my thing. And so, you know, we're taught in church, okay, you want to dance at the club, so then join the dance team at church. You used to write poetry about love and heartbreak and sex, and now you better only write devotionals. Okay, so you used to host game nights and drinking with wine and trap music at your house, so you can replace it with Bible study and worship music and some fizzy water. like like but you don't always have to find a replacement for everything. Like, you have to be learn to be comfortable with empty space, not void, not like, but even that, we think that because something is void and because something's missing, like, or we think that something is missing because something is void. Let me say it like that. Because something is void, we think something is missing. And what if the missing thing is just something that God wanted to remove? Like, it is not necessarily missing. Like when you see an open field, one person may see, look at all this space, but a developer may see, look at all this opportunity. No, no, no. It doesn't mean that something is missing. Leave it the way that it is. Leave the hills that are alive with the sound of music. Leave them rolling green just like they are. You don't have to build on it just because you feel like something is missing. In the book of Acts, the people burn their old scrolls and their old magic books publicly so that they wouldn't go back to it. And they weren't looking for a replacement. They just burned it. And then freedom followed. That's Acts chapter 19. Read the word. Read your word. That's why you don't know. You're not in your word. Read your word. Like, we don't know. It's almost like we feel like we don't know who we are or what we're supposed to do without something being there, without something replacing what we did or what we knew or who we used to be or a title that we may have used to have or a position that we had, and now we have to try to find something to put in its place. No, no. Like, let the feeling of what you lost just rest on you. You might just be grieving. And we confuse grieving with the need to add something, replace it, add a new assignment. But what if God wasn't trying to upgrade or switch what you used to have? What if he was literally trying to just clear the room? What if he was just trying to clear the space? There are some things that God doesn't want to swap. He wants to just stop. Like, you don't you don't have to always find something to replace something. Like, because when you start to fill the space, you'll fill the space instead of allowing God to fill you up. You know? You'll start building again out of habit instead of healing. And that's what I was doing. Because that's Alexa. Because I was used to doing a certain thing. I started rebuilding again and saying, "Oh no, I'm good. I'm fine," out of habit. And I wasn't really healing. And I was numbing the process with activities and work and putting my hands in everything and performance and overcommitment instead of just sitting and letting God really minister to you. Like, it looks holy what you're doing, but it really is avoidance. You don't need a replacement. Like, what is the thing that's feeding you? What did it represent in you? Why do you, that's what you have to pay attention to. Why do you want to keep going back? What does this thing feed? I knew it was feeding in me. Sometimes it wouldn't even show up the same way, but that same space was getting satisfied. That same void was getting satisfied. Now, there are some areas, or probably many or all areas, where you need to just ask God to fill the void. God, fill the void. I don't want to fill the void with something. I want to fill the void with you. Like, I'm trying to replicate the feeling of whatever it is that I was holding on to, whatever it is that I was running back to. Like, what part of your identity, what part of you did it affirm on the inside of you? Or what part of your identity was wrapped up in whoever or whatever that you keep running back to? Like, you feel like you need a substitute for everything that you left behind. But not everything, some things aren't meant to be replaced. Some things you got to just let it go, remove it. You don't always need a churchy version of the worldly thing. Like, you don't always need a churchy version of the worldly thing. Let it go. Completely let it go. And I'm not talking about, run to Jesus and be saved. Well, yes, please run to Jesus and be saved if you are not. But I'm simply talking about, not everything needs a replacement. Some stuff you really do just need to let go, because it may not serve you. It may not serve your soul well. Like, and you'll know when you're trying to go back to the thing, because you'll keep rehearsing what happened, or what would have happened if, or I just want the closure. I just want to, make it this. And well, they won't give you the closure that you're looking for, or no, it didn't end the way that I wanted it to, or you feel tempted to reach out of guilt, out of feeling like you need to rebuild something and you want to recreate whatever, and you end up what's the word? You don't grow from it. Instead, you glorify, that's the word, your pain. And that's not what God wants for you. People cross bridges, like I said in my story about us driving when we were in Virginia. People cross bridges to get from one place to another. Like, that's their whole plate. That's the whole purpose of a bridge, is to get from one place to another, to help you transition. But as long as the bridge still stands, you can always go back. So you need to find out which bridges can stay built so that you can have a way to transition from one side to another, or maybe God may want to bring you back to rescue some people. But maybe there are some bridges that just weren't meant to cross, but they were meant to be burned behind you. Not because you're bitter, not because they're bitter, but because you're not meant to return. You're not meant to go back to that thing. And if the only way you'll stop going back is if there's nothing to go back to, then baby, let it burn. That sound like Usher. I think that you should let it burn. Let it burn. So if you're like me in some areas, like still tempted to rebuild what God removed, then this might be the word for you. That's it. That is it. Thank you for vibing with me today. I hope that this was really a word for you. It was a word for me, even in the middle of it, child. This was a word for me. Like, remember, some fires are judgment, and some fires are pruning, and some fires are mercy in disguise. let it burn. I love you for real. Thank you again. If this was a word for you, then I pray that you receive it. And don't be selfish. Share it with someone else. And if this wasn't a word for you, then that's okay. You came for the love and you stayed for the vibes, and I appreciate you for that. But I pray that you be blessed, and I pray that you come back again, because next time this might be a word. Peace.